So 7.5 is out. Welcome to another video. We're starting off with Yag, doing a bit of a different thing in this one. She's been reworked. They've actually used the term refresh, which I don't usually see in the patch notes, alongside a few other champions that are all really quite different. A lot of balanced stuff in this one that kind of caught me by surprise. Dredge is also disabled at the moment. I'm sure we'll be back in like a week or two. Thought I'd start with Yag though. I'll go through all the changes. We'll jump into game one. You know how it goes. Haven't actually played any games yet so far though in this patch. Just a target practice to tweak the builds for all the different characters and everything. So I can actually give you some thoughts, but haven't actually played them in games. But Yag feels very different than I was expecting. She's kind of broken. This card is like actually changed, but not in old builds for some reason. It's not usually how it works, so you won't actually be able to use any old builds with it. I'm not sure if it affected the default ones or not, but yeah, just go in and actually tweak your Yag build so you can actually use them. I have made a new version of it, which I think you're going to want to run. It's pretty much perfect from when I messed around at target practice. I think after these changes to her though, she should be in a much better spot. The build really isn't that much different. It's just kind of merged into one with the heal, ammo, and stuff that's kind of been around for a while. Works way better now with the way the right click works, and yeah, extra health. I'll go through the changes fully and we'll jump in. So first off, they've added a crit spot to her tail. First time I think we've ever had that happen in Paladins, like a crit spot being changed or like added, at least that I can remember. It worries me a little bit. We'll see how it plays out. They did reduce the amount of damage you take from a crit though, from like 2.6 to 2, 1.3 to 1. And yeah, they've also changed a bunch of stuff with the F. I talked about that a little bit already. I don't know if I like it. Maybe I just should get used to it, but it did feel kind of weird in the target practice and just a bit slower, jank, and yeah, it's not really meant to feel like that from how it reads. Aside from the right click, they also buffed hardening. Apparently it was doing this with corrosive acid before. I never really realized it was linked to the talent, but you now leave an acid pool on the floor for damage reduction for the team. Kind of cool, so it's not just you soaking up damage, it also helps the team a bit. The biggest change though, I'm not sure if I actually understand the reasoning from how they described it in the patch notes, but the damage is up from 170 direct and 50 area to 275. And they've removed the whole charge system with it. Before you had like 5 charges and you could gen it and move stuff around with the cards, and this makes these much better, which is what I was trying to talk about, but you can now just spam it every 0.5. I do think it's kind of a good idea, but it's going to make it more spammy if anything, not what they were trying to do, which I think was making it less just hold both buttons down. Now you're going to do that more for sure, I would assume, but yeah, you have to think about it less. It's probably a good idea, and it makes sense for a kit, kinda. Then finally the ultimate pulls like 10-15% faster, and some of the cards are moved around a little bit. That's pretty much it. Long intro, jump to game one and run some Yag. Looking forward to it. Hopefully I can actually show off, because I think damage Yag is going to be quite a bit better. Starting off with the TDM, going to go for corrosive acid, and then the setup, just to show you again, if you try and pick the version of the old card, it just doesn't let you, so you really do want to go in and tweak your builds, or else you're going to be using one of the default ones. And two things I wanted to point out though with the actual update, which you might not notice straight away just from logging in, because I didn't actually do an overview or like a patch notes video this time around, is that the anti-heal is scaling faster in all modes, which is quite nice. I'll put that on screen for you so you can actually see how much different it is. It's not like crazy, but yeah, it definitely is different. There goes the Leanne. Aside from the anti-heal scaling much faster, bots are supposedly much more effective. I really do like that you can just spam the right clicks now. I think that's a really, really good change. But yeah, bots and anti-healing, both I think good changes, because in some matches for sure, healer comps were just a little bit crazy early game. I think the anti-heal stuff is a good idea. Bit of a different video to start off with the update, a little bit more all over the place than normal, but I did want to change things a little bit and you know, approach it maybe a little bit differently than I usually do. Want to try and keep things a little bit more fresh and a little bit less predictable, even though again it's still Paladin stuff. You get what I mean? Let's just jump here on the Victor. I don't know why I'm yapping so much in this one. I really like the fact that I can just fully spam, and it does feel a little bit smooth. I feel like I can just, you know, play Yag maybe a little bit less jank than before. The pull is definitely faster, which I like, because it was way too slow before, even though yeah, especially with the ult card combo, ultimate is quite a bit better because of that, especially on you know, sieges and stuff. There goes the Vora. I feel like my damage is just way higher because I can spam the right click like the entire time. Even with the setup around it before, I feel like I was running out the left click, right click a lot, and now that you can sort of spam both, you're not really going to run out of meter if you're just landing the right clicks and doing the bare minimum sort of Yag stuff. Kind of hard to say for sure, obviously, after just playing like one quick TDM, half of one, but the right click spam thing feels maybe kind of cheesy to go against, I would imagine. And just generally feels like she's quite a bit stronger than before. That play was horrendous. I thought I had my left click up in the right click. The right click does feel a little bit different. I think they did that intentionally, because they did say they wanted it to not be just like a free sort of escape a lot of the time. They wanted it to be more of a ramp up, and it definitely is, but I'm not really used to it. Gotta say, most of these are probably good changes. It just sometimes feel like I'm not going that much faster in the right click, but overall, yeah, I feel like I'm actually way more effective on Yag than I usually would be. Gotta say, overall though, even though this has definitely been a little bit more scuffed than usual, I feel very strong on Yag. I don't know if I like the right click. That really is the main thing here. The other changes though, I think are quite easily better. I don't know about the crit thing either, because I haven't really been hit too much in this one, to be honest. And yeah, maybe I can see it in third person if I like emote. I'm not really sure where the crit is meant to be. Maybe it's like right at the end of her tail, I would guess. Obviously not actually sure where it is. I'm not sure if it will display properly either on the other skin. I'm hoping that it will, but they say specifically default Yag, which is what I'm running to try and show it off. And I don't know 100% where it is. The crit will definitely work, but it might be harder to actually tell where it is, because it obviously wasn't designed around it. I'm not sure. I'm just yapping in this one way more than normal. It's been like a week since I recorded the video, it feels like. Let's Fury ult, just get a cheeky tap on the pip. You can still do the cheese movement for sure on the right click, and overall just feels more spammy. I feel way more effective on Yagorath. That right click, left click spam is just kind of insane. Basically constantly spam it, which keeps your meter up, which keeps your damage out, which keeps your self-heal going as well. Big changes to Yag, and definitely what I would call a rework, even though they don't call it a rework, they call it a refresh. Refresh might actually be a better term for it. Fury there with a massive beam, to be honest, but coming right down to the wire here though, 36 to 38. I think I'm dead. Maybe we can take the Yan out at least. Do nearly have the ultimate. It's coming right down here. That victory is on nothing. There's a reveal so the team can maybe see him. Can we get the ultimate here on the Vora? Defeat. We're really going to lose it by 1. Anyway, there you go. Stats for game 1. I think I did quite decently on. Yeah, I didn't play it perfectly, but I think I did sort of show it off. Props to the team overall. I think I, did my job there. But yeah, it definitely feels mostly better, like a 90 to 80%. I would consider this a buff instead of anything else. So, rework, but an improvement. Alright, so for game 2, Onslaught Primal Court, Moji, Vora, Sky, and BK. Moji also got changed quite a bit in this one. I'll do a video on her, of course, as well. Versus Fernando, Grok, Tyra, Caspian, and an Andro. To try and put together a little bit better what I was trying to say in that first game though, I think a big reason why she feels so much better is because you've got way less downtime. Your right click is up like 2 seconds faster. Your right click, when you're not in the travel form, you can just spam way more. The left click meter is obviously up a bit better because of that. Just feels like I'm doing more than before, to be honest with you. But a natural persistence, and then armor plating to start off. Going to try and sit on the point. We've got an emoji solo here, which should be enough. But I think this way, maybe we can play a little bit more aggressively, and she can play a little bit more with the team. The movement doesn't feel as good on the right click. Again, it should feel better from the way they describe it on paper, but it just doesn't. You can block off doors now because you can do the left click, right click spam. Even if you just right click without the left click, you're still outputting a decent amount of damage. It hits pretty hard. Pop the Q here, get heals from the emoji. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they changed both of them at the same time. The uptime, but also the damage on like 275 is pretty good. The cards did get moved around and nerfed, I think, a little bit, but definitely would consider the right click change a buff to it, like quite easily. Just going to move around a little bit here, cause a bit of a mess. Maybe sit up here a little bit and spam some stuff. Just don't feel like I have to preserve the right clicks at all, which is honestly kind of massive. You do have to preserve the left click a little bit if you're missing a right clicks a ton, but you're still throwing it down like a crazy amount, to be honest. She is just significantly more, like, I feel like output focused and uptime focused than before. And it feels like you do get caught out a little bit with the F, so they've tried to shift it around a little bit because the F is slower to start up and to like try and escape with, but I think that's a pretty fair trade-off with the way she's meant to be played most of the time in these matches. Pop an ultimate here on the Fernando. I think her fire's up, so we should be kind of safe. Yeah, she threw it down the left. I saw a little effect lingering. There we go. Nice. Or right click, left click, Q, the entire kit. The right click having a faster cooldown is definitely kind of nice, but again, it does feel slower, especially when you're trying to like move around a bit. They said it was improved, but the movement just in general feels worse. I don't know how that works. Just spamming away here though. The Grok is for some reason just consistently firing into me. He's going to get away there, but yeah, we can just not fire left click for a little bit, recharge it a ton super fast with the right click. The damage on it being higher is honestly kind of crazy with how much you're able to throw it out. Literally every 0.5. It also has self-heal on it and ammo regen. It does a hell of a lot of stuff for how much you're able to just throw it out. I don't feel like my commentary on this one has been very succinct, but I'm trying my best here. Andro's there. We'll just Q. Sure, I do have the ultimate. I don't know if I really want to go for it. Can we ult the Tyra? Is that a good idea? Her ultimate is still up. Yeah, it's a terrible idea. It's possibly the worst way you can use the ultimate. Pulling a Tyra who is ulting towards you. What am I doing? Overall, really do like these changes to Yagorath. I think it shifts it in a direction that I think makes sense, especially with the way I play her. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. We'll just try and trade here a little bit. Stand in the left click, right click spam. I'm taking so much damage. I should have queued probably way earlier. Andra ult, yeah, sure, the damage reduction there is insane. Go ahead and pop the ultimate on the Fernando, because the team kind of stopped paying attention to me in this way. We get like 4.7k extra health. We are kind of low. Kind of surprised I didn't get really hard punished for that. The Caspian is kind of melting me here. Trying to finish him off. Yeah, there we go. Drop a thanks there to the Moji. Push up a little bit here. See if we can just zone him. I feel like we can pretty effectively do this. I'm going to Q. Sure. Yeah, Vora, go ahead and finish her off. Thank you very much. There's a bit of damage on the Fernando. He's going for the ultimate. Bomb King Q. That's one thing I wanted to point out. The corrosive thing on the Q, I never realized it was on the ton. I always thought it was just a thing she had and sometimes was bugged, but it comboed with corrosive specifically, and now you have it by default. Also about your team. That's a really good change as well. I feel like you should always be at least doing something on some sort of area with Yag, with the way she is at the moment. You might as well see if we can get rid of the Tyra here. Don't know how the Grok is hitting me, considering I can't even see him, but Sky's going to go ahead and clean up. I'm just going to sit here with a self-heal and just keep doing the Yag stuff. This is a really cheesy spot for me to be, but again, it kind of works. That's the Grok ult. I am eventually dead there, though. I feel like we're on the objective there for like 100 points. Morale boost too, so we can maybe get 2 ultimates off here. We're just going to spin in, try to get an angle there, but he did just pop the shield up. There we go. We can pull him kind of at an angle. There's no shot they're going to get us here with 4.7k. That's just a free ultimate for sure. Even with the Tyra ult and the fire, we're chilling. There's a Q to absorb a ton of damage from the fire and the thing. So if I switched, I thought I was just dead. We're alright. Yeah, tankiness is just kind of silly. Really haven't noticed the fact that we can get crit on our tail, obviously because a lot of people aren't going to be aware of the change, so this video should help out at least a little bit, but people are still firing into just your front most of the time. Can definitely see that maybe it's not as easy to hit as I think in my head, because I haven't gone against the Yag yet. Again, first game so far on the patch, second one now, but yeah, not sure how noticeable it actually is, but haven't picked up on it myself playing a Yagorath. I don't think I'm getting crit from behind all that often, if at all, to be honest. It's just big damage here, spamming everything. Yeah, there we go. There is the victory. A bunch of scuff there. Feel like we did our job on Yag. The stats should be kind of crazy. Again, you really do feel like you have way more uptime than before. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you play a ton of Yag and you've had a chance to play it already. 7-4-18, 68k, super happy with that. 208 seconds on the point. Felt really strong there. Moji healed for a 10, which definitely helped. Beak had a bit of a hard time. Sky did work. The Void definitely did there too. Feels like one hell of a rework to me. She's still Yagorath, but feels much more effectively, able to do the things that she's sort of designed, I feel like, to do. We'll see how it plays out in the long term, but short term, I do, like it quite a bit. Maybe it'll annoy me later on. We'll see. Maybe the crit is too crazy. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, though. Really do appreciate staying all the way to the end. I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Let me know, of course, what you want to see me do next. And as always, stay FrostFangs.